Hi, this is Ralph from Rapid Holding System. Today we're going to talk about how to preset your pieces before they get to your wire EDM. In this particular case, though, it's a ground piece of granite and it has actually the reference ruler the same as would be on our wire EDM table. So what people would do is whatever you can put on your ruler on your wire EDM table, you can also simulate on your reference stone. So that way when you get your pieces to your table, you're already indicated in all three axes and you're ready to go. So let me show you how. I mounted the ruler, which would simulate the ruler on our wire EDM table, to the presetting stone. So before we mount anything to the ruler, we need to indicate the ruler level with the stone. So we would run our indicator, we would run this back and forth along this face. So now we would move this, run the indicator up and down along the face. Once it's 0, 0, then we would tighten up these screws. Now we're sure that this is parallel to our table. So when we put our chuck on here, we know that when we indicate our vise, that it'll be indicated to the actual ruler. So here you have your basic vise with your leveling head. In another video, I showed you how to mount the vise to the leveling head. So I already have it pre-mounted here. So there's a dowel and then there's a eccentric screw, and that's for adjustment. I'll show you how. So we have our reference ruler. So we'll put the leveling head on the presetting stone. Put in our dowel. We can snug up our screws. You don't want to over tighten them. So these screws have an Allen key on the top and the bottom. So the bottom is to mount it and on the top is for adjustment. So now we have our dowel in there with our vise on there and we have it on here. We'll tighten the screw. Now the macro head is mounted on our ruler on our presetting stone. Let's assume this is a 1, 2, 3 block, but let's just assume this was the part that we're wire cutting. So we would put that on our super vise, we tighten it down. So this here, this face here would simulate our 0 line on our wire EDM table. So where the ruler's mounted on the bottom of it, that's our 0 line. Same thing with here. So if you want your part to be even with the 0 line, you can put this flush with the stone. Or if you need it set up, you can set it up however you wish. So now we would indicate on the presetting stone. First we would indicate the vise to make sure that it's good in 0, 0. We would indicate this face of the vise. So that would determine our levelness of our adapter setup to our reference element that's on our wire EDM table. So we would indicate back and forth along this edge. That way we're ensured that we're 0, 0. Now your part is 0, 0 to your table and to your reference ruler on your wire EDM. So once that's completed, you would take your presetting stone, you would lay it down, you would loosen your part, you would slide your part off while it's all in your super vise. You'd come over to your wire EDM table. Should be ready to cut because now you're all 0, 0 from your presetting stone to your wire EDM table. So that's how you would use your presetting stone to preset all of your parts before you get to your wire EDM. So a great way to indicate and prepare everything offline. That way on your machine, you're not wasting precious time indicating your parts and you can use your machine for maximum uptime and your machine's constantly cutting while you're constantly feeding it preset and indicated parts from your presetting stone. If you like this video, like and subscribe below. Do it.